Welcome to the MAM Journals. If any of you watched my year-end review, I said that during the course of the year I'm going to go to a few bike meets and talk to people about their bikes and why they've got them and what they like about them. And here we are for the first of those, which is at the Classic Motor Hub, which is between Bybury and Cirencester. By the miracle of technology, we'll stick a map up to show you where it is, because it is in the middle of nowhere. It's actually an old airfield during the Second World War, where they actually based the Spitfires and the Hurricanes to defend Birmingham. Got there a bit late to save BSA's plant, but apparently they were quite useful. A lot of this concrete standing, of course, is very familiar with old RAF fields, and a lot of farmers never bother taking it up again because it's that thick. It's probably not worth the effort. Anyway, today they've got over 500 bikes coming to this meet, and they always make us very welcome. We've personally come over, brought out the Hondas to have a run on those and see how they went. I like to sort of get a tank full of fuel through them each every year, and it doesn't take much. They do about 120 if you're really gentle to a tank, but you can get it down to 70 if you get enthusiastic. So we've had a lovely ride over, and I rode over with a friend of mine who rode this one. And what I'd like to do is just ask Alan, how did you get on? All right, Alan, I know you've had one of these before. Thank you for riding it over me today.
No problem.
Put some fuel through it. And how did you find it after a few years being away?
Really enjoyed it. Sold mine 5 or 6 years ago, and got used to riding me big bikes now, so it feels a little bit cramped when you get back on it. But engine's superb, and the handling is really, really good. I just struggled a little bit at the roundabouts, having my head cranked back. But there were 20 miles ride here, and I was back into it by then. And you open it up a little bit on the stretch, and they're just a fabulous bike.
So, why did you buy yours when you bought it, and why did you sell it?
I wanted one when they were new, couldn't really afford one then, and then further on in life had a bit more money. One came up at the right price, wanted it, wanted to do some track days on it. Didn't really get on with it at the time.
They're quite tricky on tracks, aren't they?
Yeah. And so I didn't keep it long, but all the good points are all the good points on whenever you ride them. They are fantastic bikes. The reputation for bad fueling, I never noticed it on mine really. I certainly don't notice it on your one.
Okay. I'll need to take you on a run where we go through traffic.
Yeah.
You'll soon get the bad fueling.
But it's just the weight on your wrist. That takes a little bit of getting used to.
It does.
But it's fine. And they're an iconic bike.
Yeah, they are. I agree. Very special. Sound very distinct, don't they?
Yeah. When I had mine, nobody wanted them.
Yeah.
But now everybody wants them. The prices are rising, and they're well worth the investment.
Well, I bought that red one new, and nobody wanted them then.
No.
But you could get a Fireblade for £1,000 less, and it was probably an easier bike to ride.
Yeah, I brought a ZX9R instead of a brand new one of these because it was nearly half the price.
Yeah. But great to be out on them.
Yeah, really, really good. Fantastic weather, lots of different bikes here. Yeah. Really good day.
Yeah, do you recognise this yellow thing?
Sort of.
Well, Steve, it's really nice to meet you.
Yeah, and you.
Great seeing your bike out. Do you want to tell us a little bit about it?
Got it January last year.
Yeah.
Got it down in Worthing. Poor old, I forget the name of the place now, but it was shutting down on the MV Agusta dealership, so I got a good price for it. But the thing I love about it most is it's 140 horsepower, it's only 170 kg, it's light, it's thin, it's damn quick, it's comfortable, but above all, it's beautiful.
And has it been reliable?
Absolutely no problems. We're only on 1,500 miles, but it starts on the button. It's a fantastic bike.
So what was your first bike, Steve?
First bike, I was 18, 1970 Triumph 650, a proper bike. So I had it was an ex-police bike, T120, which I got for 100 quid. And sold it 2 years later for 400 quid. And then I went up, I was always Triumph Bonnevilles. Then I went for a Norton Commando 750, which is a 1971. Then on to a 961 Commando, which I had for 10 years. And that was a brilliant bike. But it was time for a change.
Felt like a change.
And then I went on to the first ever Japanese bike, which is Kawasaki S1.
ZX?
ZX 1000, glad you knew all that.
Yeah, no, good bike. Good
Great bike,
good sports
fantastic
tourer.
bike, fantastic bike, does everything you want and more.
Yeah, and that's 140 horsepower as well, isn't it? But a bit heavier.
But a bit heavy, 240 kg.
Yeah.
So I thought I'd go for this one, which is a bit lighter.
Yeah.
But you know, at 65, you know, I'm under a bit of pressure, I've got to say. So I just take it steady. I'm not a fast blade anymore, so if anyone wants to go past you, I'm very happy with it. Just fun bike. Just fun bike now.
Yeah, that's great. So how long have you been motorcycling?
I've been motorcycling this, got my first moped when I was 16, so I'm now 65.
Brilliant.
So
have you been continuous throughout all that time?
Continuous.
Brilliant.
Mainly had Bonnevilles.
Yeah.
Lots of old Meriden Bonnevilles. Had the TSX 8-valve Bonnie, which is a 1982 electric start job.
Yeah.
But but this is by far
best bike you've had?
Yeah, best bike for now.
Brilliant. No, well done.
Next year might be different.
Nice to talk to you, Steve.
All the best. Thanks a lot.
Thank you. Well, hello, Joe. Well, it's nice to meet you.
And you, Mike.
And interesting to see your 850 Commando. So, tell us the story. How did you come to get it? And
well, I've always wanted one. I live in Caen. We have the Caen bike meet every year, and I drive Royal Enfields. And last year, I sort of wandered across to the Norton stand and said, "How I've been looking for ages for one." I said, "How's the best way to get one?" And they said, "Well, look, join the club." Put out an advert, and then you'll pick up a nice one that's been properly looked after. And I did that, and this lovely old boy in Belfast sort of responded to the order. He'd had it for 30 years, and it lived
was
in
he
Belfast.
the first owner?
No, I think he was the second owner.
Oh, okay.
So I'm third.
Yeah.
And he looked after it really nicely. It was just what I was looking for, a Mark III with the gear select on the left side and an electric start because I've got a dodgy leg. And so it just fitted perfectly. I've had a few things done to it. It's got a new seat. Rab was a little guy. I'm 6'2".
Yeah.
So he'd scooped out the seat and I had to have it rebuilt.
Yeah.
A lovely lady in Andover, Lucky Foot Trimming. She did that for me. It's got some nice, can't see it at the moment.
Yeah, luggage.
But it's got lovely Norton bit on the back.
And how are you finding it to ride?
It's a gorgeous thing. I mean, I changed the guy here before me had lower pegs, but I've just had a shoulder replacement, so I've got a metal shoulder now, so I can't lean on anything. And I put those semi-western handlebars on it. Had the seat hit up, and it's a beautiful sit-down armchair position.
Brilliant.
And we cruised in, the three of us, four of us, and my mate over there, from Caen this morning, and it sort of beautifully popped along.
And what was your first bike?
My first bike was a Fizzy.
Yamaha FS1E.
FS1E,
I bet you wish you had it now. Not to ride it, of course.
Not to ride, but the price of them has gone through the roof.
Yeah, they're ridiculous, aren't they?
Yeah, really crazy. But she's called Clarissa.
Yeah, and why?
Why? Because all my bikes have girls' names.
Oh, okay, so you've named it.
Yeah, I've named it.
Oh, brilliant, well done.
And she's Clarissa. Yeah. I've got an Interceptor called Ingrid.
Oh, okay.
And I got an old Honda Dominator called Daphne.
The full set.
Full set, yeah.
Anyway.
But she's great fun. This is her first ride out, actually, properly. And mine, because I had this replaced in April last year. And this is the second time I've been out on the bike since. Yeah.
Well, have fun. Nice to talk to you,
Cheers, and you, Michael.
Yeah.
Great. Nice to meet you.
Thank you.
Cheers.
Well, hello, Rick. It's nice to meet you.
Yeah.
I couldn't help but spot you were on a Livewire.
The one and only.
Yeah. So, tell me about it. How did you find it? Why did you buy it?
Basically, getting old.
Yeah.
Arthritis in the clutch hand.
Okay.
My original bike that I bought when I was 22, I'm just selling now. So I've had it 40 odd years, but the clutch is just too painful now.
So which bike was that?
That's a Moto Guzzi California.
Oh, okay.
1000cc one.
Yeah.
And went all over the country, over France, Europe, whatever on it. But.
And how are you finding this?
Oh, this Livewire is epic. My wife found it. I didn't know if Harley even did an electric vehicle.
Right.
And the acceleration is blistering. I've only just started playing around with the modes, and I've now got it so that it's almost like a quick action throttle, maximum traction control, maximum acceleration. It's basically, I'm reliving my youth again, so yeah. grown old disgracefully, as they say.
Some of us who don't sort of understand much about electric bikes, we're always a bit anxious about range. How are you finding it in the real world?
In the real world, it's just over the 100 odd miles. I do ride it enthusiastically. They reckon you can get 150 miles out of it.
Yeah. Could you?
No, never. No, I get probably mile per 1% of the battery.
Oh, okay. So about 100.
Yeah. So, but for a Harley, it brakes. Well, you don't need the brakes because the engine regen slows it that much.
Yeah.
I've got a maximum regen as well.
Okay.
One of the mode, things you can add on the mode, and basically it just means I've never used the back brake in like 6,000 miles.
Right.
The front brake is used to stop at traffic lights or on a hill, and 99% of the time you just back up, you ride it on the throttle.
And how far have you come today?
Only Swindon. I came all the twisty back roads.
Yeah. Is it good on the twists?
Oh yes. I mean, my Guzzi's always had Brembo brakes.
Yeah.
And this has got Brembo brakes, but they're not linked. The
okay.
Guzzi's were linked to the
of course,
brakes, But like I said, you don't. I mean, I've got the original brakes pads on here for normal 6,000 miles. So, and it's quite a heavy bike, I believe, isn't it? It's only heavy when it's horizontal. And I've done that once in the garage.
Oh, right,
I gently laid it down because it was on one of these trolleys.
Okay.
And it slid away from me. I managed to gently lower it and then even slower lift it.
Well, which of us hasn't done that with a bike?
Oh, yes. I was aching a bit the next day because you don't realise how much weight these are until you have to do that.
Yeah, of course.
It's an excellent bike. And
really good to talk to you. Thank you very much for your time.
No worries.
Well, Richard, it's nice to see you again. I see that you're on your Honda Goldwing.
Yeah, the old trusty wing.
Yeah. What do you like about it? What made you buy it?
I think it's just the reliability and the comfort. And I've got sporty bikes, but I'm never in the mood really, or rarely in the mood. If this is in the front, I take this.
How many miles have you done on it now?
I've done 8,000 on this one.
And how long have you had it?
I've had it 2 years.
Oh, okay.
2 years. I've got other bikes as well, so I spread the mileage. But you can rely on. It's just a good, solid bike, much better than people think. As regards being a proper motorcycle.
Yeah.
Very economical as well. They do 55 to the gallon, 0-60 in 4 seconds, which is as quick as the Widowmaker Kawasaki 750 triple, which would surprise a lot of people. And the 0-60 is also...
And handles better, I suspect.
Yeah, they handle very well. They don't wobble or anything like that. I've had the old models as well. So
and
smaller.
Do you tour on it, or?
No, I'm 80 now, so my missus doesn't come on the back anymore.
Oh, okay.
She would come on the back, but she's grown out of her leather jeans.
So
if I buy
she's too small now.
Yeah. That's right. Yeah. I'm quite happy riding 2-up, but you've got to be careful with.
Yeah, you have, and roads now in the
it's
UK.
More toppling over, and if she gets on the back, I would just ride as normal. Don't think about it. You've got to be careful.
So, what are the 3 things you most like about this bike?
It comes down to just comfort, really.
I
think in the winter you can use it through the winter.
Yeah.
I'm amazed that so many people like naked bikes when it's freezing for sort of 7 months of the year. So it's reliability, economy, surprisingly.
You wouldn't expect a bike as big as that and as heavy as that.
That's riding
enthusiastically.
Much quicker, much quicker than average.
Yeah.
And it just doesn't drop below 50 ever.
Brilliant.
So if I showed you now, it would be 53 to the gallon.
Yeah.
I was talking to another chap with a DCT one, and he gets 60. He rides an economy mode.
Oh, okay. You don't?
I don't.
No. Anyway, it's really nice to see you again, and thank you for talking about your Goldwing.
And that's my first ever bike over there.
The AJS.
I rode in 1960, and that won the Thruxton 500 miler, the endurance race, beating all the Bonnevilles and Constellations and BSAs, but people have forgotten them. So I always put a word in for the.
And why not?
CSRs.
Yeah, that's great.
See you again.
Thank you. Hello, David. It's great to see you again. Haven't seen you probably a few months now.
Yeah.
You hibernate in the winter.
Hibernate over the winter,
Yeah, well, it's great to see you out, and I see that you're on one of my favourite modern retro bikes, the Z900RS.
Yeah.
How do you find it?
Yeah, I love it. It's a bike that, I think in some of your videos you say it's a bike that does everything, absolutely everything. It's good for short runs, long runs, an hour out in the morning, breakfast run. Yeah, it's just, I mean, I'm not, I just ride bikes for fun, so it's not all for me about.
Oh, we all ride them for fun.
But it's just that all-round bike. I've got a GS that I can take out if I want to do, go a bit of touring and put the luggage on, but for an everyday bike, I don't think you can go wrong with the Kawasaki.
So, when did you buy it, and what attracted you to it?
I bought it 2 years ago, so it was 2019. I bought it in 2021 when it was just still in its warranty from an old guy up north who was a 70-year-old bloke. It had only done 2,000 miles when I bought it, so it's like brand new. He'd put some nice extras on it. I put the aquapobic on it. I had a CCM Spitfire, and I wanted something. It's not like that's a single lumpy thing. So I wanted something. I've always been a Kawasaki man as well.
Oh, okay.
My first ever bike was a Kawasaki.
Oh, what was your first ever bike then?
It was a. It was 100. I think it was a KH 100. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. So that was one. And then I had a Z250 Scorpion.
All right. Never mind.
And then I think
it's a good bike. I'm pulling your leg.
I think I was chatting to you earlier. I had a ZRX 1100.
Yeah.
Green machine.
Yeah.
And then when I got rid of that, I always knew I'd go back to Kawasaki. I think I was getting older, but this is the bike that I'll probably keep now until I stop riding.
Yeah.
It's just.
Well,
I think
let's hope that's a long way off.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Great to see you again, David.
Thank you, Michael.
Thanks for your time.
See you soon.
Hello, Martin. It's nice to see you again.
Hello, Mike.
Anybody who watched the channel know that you actually featured in a track day that you and I did, Donington Park. I led you astray.
You did. You sent me a text, and I read Donington and track day and didn't read the rest. My wife wasn't in the room, so I didn't have any good counsel and ended up there.
Well, it was obviously good fun because I'm delighted to see that you've now gone out after many years and bought your own bike.
I have, yes.
And tell us why you chose the Ducati, what you like about it.
Okay.
Anything you don't like.
Well, it's a Ducati SuperSport S, and I bought it because passed me as a tart. I had Ducatis before and really liked them more than the Japanese bikes at the time. I thought a sports bike would be a good idea, and then I had wise counsel from you who said, "You be careful, Martin, that isn't going to work." And this is a sort of a sports bike for the road, and so far I love it.
Great. Anything not quite taken to?
No, I don't think so.
And what have you liked about it?
It just does what you ask it to do.
Yeah.
And it's still very mechanical, but and involving. But yeah, it's comfortable, sort of, and it goes well
in a
enough.
Ducati sort of way.
Yes.
Yeah.
I mean, it's nothing like.
Well, it's better having the clip ups than the clip downs, isn't it? Things like that just make it a bit easier.
Yeah.
And you went for a V-twin, not a V4.
Yes, because that's how these come, and and V4s are a lot more money, and it's a little bit toe in the water. I've not ridden bikes for 20 years, apart from on the track day thing, and I think I'm going to enjoy it, and I seem to be so far. But this is only the second ride out. So,
okay, early days.
Early days, yeah. But yes, thanks for helping me spend my money.
Well, I know you're very welcome. I guess it's a community service.
Yeah.
Great to see you.
Thank you, and you, Michael.
Nice to see your 554. So, can you tell us a bit about it? How you came to buy it? What made you buy this Honda?
Well, I bought this the back end of last year, and I saw it on one of the other vloggers' videos.
How dare you?
I know, it's terrible. The old motorcyclist, Tame.
Yeah.
And he took it out, and it was being sold through Hayward's. And basically, it was a collector's bike, and they were selling it on behalf of the owner.
Okay.
And I liked it, so I bought it. A bit like the old Razor,
So I can't remember which company that was, but I know what you mean. So, have you had Hondas before? And
no, this was the first Honda I had.
Okay.
I started teenager on a Bantam.
Wow.
Pushed it more than rode it.
I think that's a common sale.
And said if I ever buy another motorbike, it would be a Japanese bike.
I think that is why, in one sentence, why Japanese dominated the market, wasn't it?
It was indeed. So I acquired a Kawasaki off a friend who, at the age of 80, decided he didn't want to ride anymore. And then once you get one bike, you sort of think you need another one. So I bought another Kawasaki.
At least one. Yeah.
And then I saw this one. And yesterday I just bought a Honda 125 Twin.
Okay, bit of fun. CB, J.
CB125
Was it the J?
T.
T.
T, Twin.
Oh yeah, of course.
So,
yeah, the J was a single, wasn't it? I think maybe.
Yes, I think it was. So a bit of fettling to do on that as well.
Yeah, that's
and
good fun.
Plus 2 scooters. That's 6 in the garage.
So, what do you like about the bike, and what, if anything, is there anything you don't like? So, the things you like first. Let's be
Things
positive.
I like first. It's a sort of bike. It goes around a corner on its own. You just point it and it goes.
Great.
And it's smooth. Some people think
start every time.
Starts every time. Some people think the 4 cylinders are boring, but it purrs along.
Yeah.
It goes. It's revving around about 5,000 at 60,
Okay.
6,000 at 70,
Yeah.
and it's quite happy there.
Yeah.
It's a bike that's sort of designed to be revved.
Yes.
Keeps the carbon off. You keep
Keep him
burning it
going.
up.
Yeah.
But you know, you have to sort of accept it's an old lady, so you
Yeah,
have
of
to sort
course.
of treat
How
it
old
with
is
a
it
bit of
now?
TLC. 1975.
Okay.
So, and what I don't like, well, there's nothing I really don't like. Of anything, the front brake's not very good, but then I tend to use more on the back.
Okay.
And the back brake's very good,
Yeah.
and it's very progressive. It doesn't snatch. So, being a drum
Well, with
brake,
those solid discs, have you been out in the wet yet?
a couple of times, yeah.
Yeah.
That's why I tend to sort of
Use the back brake.
focus on the back, because then when it is
You've
wet,
actually got some brakes.
I've got some brakes indeed.
Yeah. Well, very good. Thank you
Thank
very much
you,
for your
Michael.
time, Chris. Good to talk to you.
And you.
Thanks for your
Thank
time.
you.
Well, I hope that you've enjoyed today. I've certainly enjoyed it. It's always great to meet fellow motorcyclists and go around. Everyone's been really friendly, as they are. I mean, it's a great community, the motorcycling world. Lots of different choices of bikes, lots of different styles and ambitions in terms of what people do with them. So I do hope that you've enjoyed it. If you did, you might consider pressing like or even consider subscribing to the channel, but as is always the case, I don't worry about that very much. What is most important is that you ride safe and that you stay well.